Hello boys, my name is Yoshi. Welcome back to my 100% playthrough of Hyrule Warriors for Nintendo Switch. Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition for the Nintendo Switch, that is. In the last episode, we finally finished our first map. Oh, that took so long. Hopefully this will be a bit quicker. We left off in the Great Sea doing stuff. For those of you who don't know, the map has a couple of barriers to prevent us from doing a lot of stuff. It's also one of the longer maps to advance through because you have to go through so much obstacles to take through things. So yeah, this map, there's headwinds and other stuff that impede your progress, and you need to find, I believe it's the Wind Waker item to get past them ultimately. We can't figure out where those items are until we actually get to that area. So we have to first start by going here, and this is our very first, intended to be our very first mission for rack up your KO count. And we have to use Sheik and whoever the other person is. Because this is a weaker mission, we will not use the XP strategies. In later ones, we will be using XP Accelerator as well, so we can get a ton of levels from this while we do that. But in case you didn't know, this is basically like the Master Quest one, but even easier. You basically are forced into a mission, and your goal is to kill as many enemies as we can. We'll go ahead and do it with our weaker character just to make it a bit more interesting. And as with any first session, it takes place in Hyrule Field first. Now my first goal, because we can't really get a lot of items, is to find missions that I can clear without using a search first. Clear those, and then as I get to items, I will appear and do stuff. So we start by killing that, which causes some enemies to spawn. And then after we do a little bit of work, there will be a giant boss rush of some sorts. And if we take out the giant boss, the enemy reinforcements will appear again. Because this is a first mission, it's really easy to get the field loaded in like a matter of minutes. And then you can just use magic and go ham on everything. This is still on the easy mode, so it's not going to be a problem for us. Which is going to make the Master Quest one a lot more interesting, because it'll be a lot more tougher. Okay, now we'll just straight up pop this right off the bat. Okay. Definitely focus here is the best way to go in these. Easy 500 KOs in a matter of minutes. I like how you get this big theme playing on the background while you're just doing nothing but trying to make get the highest KO count you can possibly farm. As for the actual goal, we only need 1,000 since this is one of the easier missions. As with any starting area mission. This map, by the way, overall is kind of aggravating to get through. You have to go through a lot of different stuff here. Because this is so early on in the map, there's not going to be a lot of experience we can get from this, just materials from the captains mostly. Which is why I'm probably should just go for them first. Then after minute 30, they start an all-out attack, and they kind of just funnel themselves towards one location. Now, because this is one of the weaker missions, we don't get a second set of enemy forces, which would normally appear, where in the experience mission, we had to face Agatha down, along with a couple other opponents as well. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, this is the first map of the Great Sea, so there'll be lots of big blends hiding here. I initially was going to wait to get some of my items, but because I need so many big blend items, I feel like I'm gonna just try and go for as much of this app first before I do anything else. Honestly, beyond like the regular strategies, the only thing that you can really do that's fun is to just see how high of a KO count you can get. With Young Link, I could probably get like 5k kills here, maybe, but who knows. Not really going for that actively since we have to use Sheik anyways to get our item. Alright. I'll skip the chest animation since it gets really bored after a while. Yeah, just what I thought, by the way. Each of the coordinates is based off of a different setup. So the entire top half of the map, top right rather, is one thing. And for the purposes of showing a lot, I'm going to skip a lot of the animations. I might show them again as new animations start appearing, since there are some that we haven't seen yet. We got good material drops there, by the way. Okay, here's our first... Ooh, we are body blocked by all the search items. Okay, we have one that cannot be gotten either way, so we have no choice but to do this one. or I guess one of the other ones up top. I'm choosing this one. Item Master Quiz is the fastest, let's do that. Fortunately, we do not have a free one here, so we have to go in here and see if we can get them here elsewhere. Now, previously, the game showed us where a lot of the items are, but in this one, it doesn't look like they do. So this one, they changed it from being a quiz to being trials instead for some reason. The one weak to bombs, that's Moblin, and he literally just showed his weakness 15 minutes after it started. Well, that was easy. I felt kind of trolled, by the way, when I got that one quiz that had a bomb character in it. Ugh, that was not fun. I could have sworn I remember someone getting a air semi-early. The one meets a boomerang, that's Stallmaster. Next one is probably going to be the one that's weak to arrows, if I imagine. Right. Now, each of these maps I'm only going to show just to show the intros, so I can do those maps later. Both from item farming and a couple of other stuff. Obviously, you can't really go a lot of places until you find the items, so you need to try and find those first. Oh, wait, yeah, this weak to the hammer, actually. Ah. I'll just play it safe, because it's very easy to defeat the incorrect enemy by accident. And complete all the trials successfully. And done. Time to head home. Okay. Certain enders on the Great Sea will cause different rules to be applied on battle during mass heads. On squares of big autos, your warrior will fall in battle for a single hit. Avoid attacks. Watch for enemy movements. John, map squares with warships, warrior will receive twice as much damage as normal. Okay, we'll defeat these next. You know what? I'm gonna do this one next. What was this one? Defeat, eat, Tetra using, Ruto. Now, with this one's, I'm gonna pick, if it's a pick an ally one, then I'm gonna pick it just simply based off of the regular thing alone. Alright. Here we go. Alright. Okay, there's no KO ranks for this. Okay. Good. Now, we have to protect Wizro, otherwise we lose. Time to KO them both. You don't scare my big brother. He can bake you back with his hands tied by his hat. A challenger? Interesting. Oh, this is a big area. Alright. All enemy forces retreated from the battlefield. Ooh. Now they all reappeared. Oh, and the bird disappeared as well. You need some assistance, allow me. How about no? Alright. If we just take out both commanders, we could skip battling the Helmrock King entirely. So let's do that. Unless it also that's in my way. Now, I wanted to defeat the opponents from the Toonlight area first if I was preparing to do stuff. There we go. Now we can start collecting Chetra materials here. Ah, you and your friends are so amazing, big brother. Yes, that was tiring. Everybody, good job. Now let's rest up for the next battle. By the way, I fought things in all of the time, and I never defeated Toonlink a single time. That's a bit of a mistake on my part, because I do want to defeat him at least once to start getting his materials as well. Because a lot of the characters we have right now need them. It's really important that we get them. Alright. Well, now it starts revealing some of the items. Let's do this next session and next. Now, a lot of these, like I said, I don't really have a good way to deal with them. Now, these missions are kind of a bit interesting. You're supposed to defeat all of the other enemies first and do some other stuff to events, but there's actually something you can do to get around that. So, it mentions that we have to take out 500 enemies before the rogue forces do. Instead of dealing with that, excuse me, compete to capture the most keeps. Cooperate your allies to capture as many keeps as you can. Plain say defeat ice. The leftovers your warrior score, while the right number is your wild, sir. Now with these, you don't want to actually defeat the regular characters. Instead, you want to take out all of the enemies that are competing against you first. Because if you have to face an area known as win the KO competition, every single time you take out one of those big commanders, it means one less opponent attacking you, and also they will receive reinforcements a bit later and will say, oh, there'll be other stuff. In the later missions, while it won't happen right away, low-level grunts will appear following their defeat. And you can basically just keep on infinitely farming them. Oh, we have a Linkle as well. Let's make sure we kill this Linkle real quick. Oh, that was quick. Today must be an off day. It is indeed for you, Linkle. Now, if you are competing for certain materials, if you face off against a specific character, then you can get a lot of their materials from these missions. These are definitely good ones to do early on, because you can complete them in less than a few minutes, and you can also get the KO equipment very easily. Because this is one of the beginner missions, it's very easy. I'm not gonna necessarily check anything in the beginning, because we're kind of stuck until we get materials first. Okay, so we can get 2 pairs from the upcoming battle. But we have to use Agatha first, which is a bit awkward. Honestly, I don't care, because there's also another thing we have to get, including a Skulltula. We'll maybe get that first, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm trying to tap on a thing, and sometimes it takes a while to go to it. Get to troops for some of the allies do. Okay. This one's weird. Alright then. Well, we'll get our first item from this, and then we can get a Hyoji pair right after that, which will allow us to actually do something. Alright. This strategy with this area is very, very, very interesting. There's lots of strategies. I think the fastest way of doing this is to just go a loop around in the right side. Now, there are a series of enemies that will try and recruit the allied units. If they actually get to them in time, then they will turn against us, and that will make the attack even worse than before, which is a little bit obnoxious. And these recruiters will do just that. So, our first mission, or regular task, is to just kill all of these guys first. Okay. Looks like most of our fighting's gonna take place in here. Good, because it's a really long way back. Yeah, I think I could just get to our forces a bit later by doing our stuff. Is there a recruiter right there? No. Alright, we saved the specialist. We can defeat the enemy, count on us. Okay, so does this mean things are good? So, if you can get to the forces first, then the allied forces will advance towards your enemies. If you don't get to them in time, then they will turn against you, basically traitors, and then you have to kill them. And if they turn against you, they gain a lot of extra power, and it's just really obnoxious. The only item is located in the Skull of Joy, but I'm killing enemies to spawn the Skulltula while we're at it. Yeah, I think saving the forces is probably the best way of doing that. I like how the enemy forces aren't even the regular flat. It's the rogue forces that are actually our main enemies here, for some reason. Alright, took out the magic thief. Probably should be doing this mission a bit quicker than usual, but, don't blame me. I'm trying to just get stuff going. Okay, well, we dealt with the major problem, which was make sure the commanders get somewhere. So, looks like my strategy kind of worked. Just go to the right, and that seems to work the best. Now we have to lure out the commander, as well as take out the Skull of Joy for a heart container, so we'll do that now. Fortunately, Aya doesn't really have much really good to clear this with, except this, and combo free. In fact, I think combo free might be better for this. Okay. Got our heart container. Now let's see if Tetra is fine. If you don't do anything, Tetra could be destroyed really quickly. Ooh, our own forces took Dragon Roost by themselves. That's a first. That usually never happens, by the way. So we got to hear a sound effect that we almost never get to hear otherwise. The first Skulltula is located northeast of Dragon Roost. That's where we're going first. First, it seems. I like how because we KO'd, or at least saved our specialists, they are doing a lot of the work for us now, which is really nice. Without that, they would just gain morale and turn traitor against us, and then they would advance towards Tetra, and that would be really bad. Definitely important to save them as soon as possible, which is why going to the left seems to be the best strategy. Like, this guy you could literally take out whatever you want. In fact, you probably want to save him until after you are ready to face the boss. Okay, now we have Summoner and Dark Darkna appeared. So now this is where things get a little bit interesting. So the Dark Darkna is going to advance towards the Allied forces and me. If I KO him, he's going to respawn over and over and over and over again. Okay, we have to go up here for our Skulltula. That's why I'm teleporting here, so we can get that. A main thing I found my streamer that I was watching doing as a mistake was not using the warps enough when they were there. Because whenever you get a chance to warp, it makes traveling so much quicker. In fact, it's often the speed strategy for a lot of the later levels that are harder. That being said, a lot of levels don't always have warps, so it gets really tricky sometimes. Okay, so our commander, Orphasia, is now an Invoga again. This guy seems to appear a lot. I found out today he's not actually part of Skyward Sword, so he might be like a different game that I don't know of. If someone knows what game he's initially from, let me know. It might actually be this game, for all I know. I know Lana and Sia are new to this game by default, because they're the main villains here. Other characters? Not sure. I feel like Wizard's also from this game, though, but I could be wrong. And yes, I did find out that Girium definitely is from Skyward Sword. He's like the main bad guy in there that you have to face, and he comes back a lot. Almost as much as the Imprison, which is also a really annoying boss there, who's also probably the most difficult boss battle this is. So I haven't really told you much, but I've been trying to play Skyward Sword for the longest time. So I thought before doing Skyward Sword HD walkthrough, I would do a Skyward Sword normal playthrough. And so far, the way that's gone is I've gotten a few decent items, but beyond that, there's not a lot we have gotten. This will actually be a pretty cool strategy if I do this right. Okay, so now we can search items. Okay, just showing us the items. Okay. Oh, we can use a salvage arm on this right off the bat. Let's do that. That makes that available. Defeat 400 enemies for the rogue forces do limit link. That's very, very easy. So I'll just mash through this. As this is a starting area, this is also like the largest starting area there is. Sometimes there's a lot less stuff to do in the starting area, but this one has a very large starting area, and I find it quite interesting. We're facing off against Dark Wizard this time. Again, I like taking out Wizard himself first, just because it makes the fights a bit easier. For these missions, you can usually just spin to clear them all out. And in the beginning missions, they're very bad. They usually only kill one, maybe two enemies at a time between the 3 Dark Wizards that you have to face. I've been waiting for a time to find Wizard for a while, let's be honest, so I am definitely killing him a lot, because some of my characters are really struggling to get his materials, so I'm going to try and KO him first, before anything else happens, and wow, right as I finish that, we did that. So I feel like the sooner we kill them all, the better. And you can get them to respawn after a set time, too, because after set time passes, they'll respawn, so you can do this almost infinitely. Not really infinitely, but at least a decent bit. This is probably how I'm gonna farm Wizro materials for the future. Okay, so that part is done. Easy victory. This is very easy mission. The actual KO competition is much more interesting because you actually have to work a bit because those characters are actually buffed, which makes it a little bit more annoying. I'm gonna just keep on doing new missions. Well, that's easy enough. Just do that. Another costume. Win the KO competition already. This is coming up. We have to win the KO competition as Zelda versus Volga. Oh boy. We can win it easily as Link though. This one in particular, you want to take out a lot of the captains, because once you kill the captains, extra enemies will spawn you can kill, and you can use magic to clear them out even faster. It's really fun. Unfortunately, these are also the longest missions, as you have to go for at least a couple of minutes. The sooner we kill these guys, the better, because then they spawn more enemies. So as you can see there, we just killed off one of the big blends, and that gives me a... Oh jeez, one of them stumped right as we did that. Okay, so now all the enemies are dead that the rogue forces are trying to attack. So now we get to do this to get a lot of stuff. And yes, I found out just by doing this and a couple of other stuff that obviously, doing this strategy is by far better because, well... Now, they do respawn after a little bit, so you can't, stay it for a while, but yeah. So pretty much by killing all the captains, which is really important, by the way, you weaken the rogue forces, and this jerk bird is not pecking at all. I'm gonna have to make him fall myself. So we can get more enemies to appear in here, because may as well fill up the field some more. Alright. Usually, Elohim is not one for me to struggle on, usually, but... Who knows? Who knew it would be this difficult? I'll just kill all these captains here real quick. There's like so many dark fronts as well. Okay, and now Big Blend has reappeared. So now we have to go back and very quickly kill him again, so he doesn't get any KOs. And yes, they spawn based off of a time, and after that happens, things just get crazy. I will say killing them definitely makes this session way easier, because then instead of having to deal with all the nonsense every 15 minutes, you can just, once you kill them, you can straight up do this just like a regular magic battle. It isn't even that hard. They do make it kind of tough for you though, like the enemies are a little bit stronger here. So if you don't have a lot of A, you can't actually KO them, but if you do, that helps out a lot. But yeah, that makes it, this session really easy. Alright. If you have big bombs, this is another efficient way of getting a lot of KOs, is to just do this over and over again. It's especially effective if you are don't have a lot of power. Okay, now the grunts are gone again. So now I have to defeat him again. And yes, each captain you kill in this mode gives you a bomb power-up for some reason. Which is really helpful because that lets you just KO enemies like mad with it. I definitely like that. Look at that, just instantly an entire field of enemies dies in a matter of minutes. Okay, we are more than safe. I don't think we have to kill any more big blends here. It gets scary at first if you do nothing, because you can easily lose if you don't do the strategy properly, especially in the later missions. But as long as you kill them properly, you can easily shred the KO competition in a matter of minutes. And also, these guys just don't know that Link's just that good. No big blend's gonna win against Link, that's for sure. I'm just gonna KO enemies now, because there's no point in doing anything else. At first, they seem to get a lot of KOs because they're enhanced, so they do more damage than you normally would do, but if you are strong enough... Allied Forces soundly won the competition. I like how it has to mention they soundly won it. No problem. And obviously, if you get less than them, it's an instant defeat, but with this strategy, it's fairly free. Because if you do this, they literally are stunned. They literally can't do anything for like a couple of minutes. If you do that when you have a partner, you can like destroy this mission. It's actually kind of fun if you have a partner in particular, because that makes it more interesting. There's a lot of costumes you get here, by the way. What is this one? Got some big blend hides, which helps out a little bit. Standard robes for Great Sea. Okay. Well, we actually got a lot more of these items than I thought. Well, this will be our first official mission that we get to do regular stuff on that. Defeat the enemy celebrities as Lana, for access to her level 2 weapon. Here, we're gonna use Book of Sorcery, though. This will make his otherwise weak spear weapon a lot more powerful, which is important because later we'll need to do that. Alright. So, defeat the enemy celebrities. We need to get 1,000 KOs for both a Skulltula Located the northwest of enemy base. So very close to the base. And we also have to get West Glare cleared. Look at all the stuff here. Oh boy, what's this? Oh, it's the same one again. Defeat Captain, sort out the Rogue Commander, and then... Okay, now they're gonna go towards the allied units, and we have to defeat them. Oh, jeez. Well, obviously we're taking out all of the enemies attacking our allies first so we can use them against our opponents. Alright. Alright. Pretty soon we'll recruit both of these troops. Look at all the enemies in this one area. There'll be so many commanders to take out here. Okay, this takes care of this keep. Piece of art. Now, by the way, we may, just a little bit of a warning, we might not make a lot of progress in some of the later missions, because they are for mode, so if you're not careful, you can die a lot easily. Okay, we saved our attack specialist. Nice. Now the rogue forces are getting attacked. What's this now? Tying you? Oh boy, I'm gonna get... Now I have to deal with this except literally all the freaking time. That's a bit annoying. Well, I'm fine. As long as I dodge a lot, it'll be fine, I think. Whoa, excuse me, Gibdo, where are you going? I'm trying to attack you. Excuse me while I kill you off. Okay. Looks like both defense specialists and the regular forces are now saved. Our attack specialist is doing his thing and going straight for the Gibdo that we need to kill later. We'll help him out a bit. Without these forces in hand, it actually is really difficult to complete this efficiently. Now we have to stop a seed attack just so it for the our own safety. And Defense Specialist, sure enough, goes right for Toon Link. Oh, here they go. They're beginning an all-out attack to try and finish us off at the last second. I just realized, because I'm not in a keep, they don't seem to land on me. I would probably do this without dealing with the seed attack normally, but since this is also our first victory for Lana to get our spear level 2, we're gonna go ahead and just make sure everything dies first. Okay, now we have to warp down. Oh wow, it's actually really close to the base. If I just go straight for the base, then I can head all the way around the back to get it. Well, that's convenient. So we can just go straight for the Skulltula. Alright. And the road commander today is Nard and Rizro again. We're getting a lot of Rizro battles today. Thankfully, we shredded him pretty easily since this is still in the starting zone. So, a lot of easy missions as kind of a break from all of the difficult ones we have. Now, as part of my setup, I will finish this by completing this map 100%. Because initially I didn't want to do it because of the items, but now I have at least the required items. I should be able to clear out most of the things in this area. I had to go pretty deep here, by the way, to get a Hyochi Fair. It's kind of obnoxious, actually, really, but it is what it is. Got another search item. Oh, I guess one thing I can do is, now that that thing is cleared, I can check to see if that is a requirement for the character, since I usually should try and get the character as fast as possible, but it didn't seem like that's the case. Well, we'll see. We have a lot of these already just from doing our Skulltula stuff. So before I do this, I need to check this. It's a salvage arm. Ooh, perfect. You know what that means? We are actually going to get a new character after all. Well, take a salvage arm, go back. Use that on the rain. The little rain thing. And this allows us to actually get a new character. Which we'll find out. We have to compete against too, like... Obviously, there's only 2 characters that can stand up to it, and that's right, folks. Yes, we're going back to Link and Young Link again. So Link is basically going to be facing a different version of himself. By the way, this battle is going to be a little bit more tougher, but we'll get a new character from it. It's important to unlock the new character as soon as possible, because the sooner you do, the sooner you can do his missions. So we have to defeat more enemies than the rogue forces again. This time we're facing off against the Moblins. We'll start by KOing that first to make the grunts appear. I'm gonna actually switch around a couple more times this time to make it more interesting. So kill all those guys. That makes the... You don't see how big guy. He could beat you with his hands behind his back. Actually, we're about to beat you... Beat you even faster. Oh, there he is. All the way in the bottom corner. Okay, that takes care of all the moblins. And now's where things get really interesting since I have Young Link. This is gonna probably last for the entire rest of the match here. Also have tons of big ones we can kill. Please actually do something properly this time, Mr. Elmarkane. Thank you! That's much nicer! Now I don't have to waste my freaking magic on you. Ugh, almost overkilled him with that strat there. Alright. So previously we were competing against the big blends, now we're competing against the moblins. All the way up top there, okay. Okay, we sniped some low-level grunts on the way back, that's really nice. Fortunately, the moblins attack kind of fast, so they can do a lot of damage really quickly. Alright, I'm gonna ignore the first set and then just kind of go for the enemies as I move along the path here. Once you get a lot of KOs though, you'll usually stay in the lead for quite a while. Okay, now the grunts are out again. It's also not gonna be easy. We need to get this transport captain dead quickly so we can get our magic back. Alright. We're going in this with Young Link. Let's see if we can get a lot of KOs. Hey, why is that a moblin? I thought they were our regular enemies, not, I didn't know they were also a part of the enemy forces. That's very, very, very confusing, but, I guess that's fine. By the way, I'm glad I got the new character, because if you know what I mean, knowing my luck, I'll probably need it right away on the other map. Okay, let's just kill stuff down here for a minute. Oh, and the moblin's back, so we have to go all the way back up top again. Well, this is an easy way to get a lot of moblin flanks, if anybody wants those. Pretty much all of the KO competition missions are really good as a secondary alternative to rack up KO count to get as many enemies as possible. Alright, now we have to go back down again. This is definitely fun, by the way. Also, this mission is almost just as easy as the other mission. Again, I couldn't search it because I needed a search item for that, and I didn't have a search item, so my first best was to just get the search item as soon as possible. Now, in some of the later missions, in addition to facing regular characters, the allied forces are actually heroes as well. That makes it much more interesting because you're actually competing against a known opponent, which I find quite interesting. Okay, nice and easy. 4,000 KOs in total. It's definitely one of the higher numbers I've seen on us. Told you Link's the best. Yeah, that's right. We destroyed those pesky moblins. It's over. I'm surprised you're not in worse shape, Link. Nice work. Alright. Time to find out what our character is. Meanwhile, I'm gonna go to a new map. Alright. Look at all these items that we're getting. We can now bell as Medley. That's the new character we got, which is interesting. Well, that's going to be it for this video, guys. If you like and enjoyed, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.